Well, maybe you just dropped your hedge trimmer or your weed eater or your chainsaw on the ground. It hit a rock and now you got a crack on the bottom of your fuel tank. You hold it up and it pours gas out. Big crack there. You got two choices here, guys. You either got to replace your tank or repair it. Today I'm going to show you how I repair a cracked plastic fuel tank. Good day, boys and girls. Welcome back to Steve Small-Ended Saloon again. SteveSmallEndedSaloon.com right there. That's my website. Check it out when you get a chance. I am going to use today a stubby bottle right here of Coors Banquet beer. You can probably use whatever kind of beer you want for this job. It shouldn't take you any more than about one beer to do this job. If it does take you more than one beer, hey, guys, I'm not judging. I've tried several things in the past to repair a crack on a plastic fuel tank on one of these things. Number one thing you guys are all going to be saying probably is seal all. That seal all right there. You know what? I am not dissing seal all at all. But what I call this is a temporary fix. No matter how well that you prepare the crack, you can sand it down, you can alcohol swab it, you put that seal all on there. It does work, but it will still leak again after time. Why I call it a temporary fix. So I'm looking for something different to do here. I've heard from lots of guys out there, hey, you know what? You use a piece of trimmer line. You take your trimmer line, cut a piece of that off, or a zip tie, zap strap, whatever you want to call that, and you use that plastic. You take a soldering iron like that, and you just melt that plastic into the crack, and that's going to solve your problems. Well, guys, I've tried this numerous times. No matter how well I prepare that crack too, I put that foreign plastic in there, and after it's all cooled and dried and everything, I can take a little screwdriver and literally just grab it with a screwdriver and peel it and just rip it right off like a Band-Aid. It doesn't stick properly to it. That's, again, I think that's a temporary fix. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, why am I adding more plastic? Foreign plastic, I think, is, this is what I think is the problem with that, is that it's a different chemical composition for that plastic to what the plastic is in that fuel tank. It's not bonding properly. So why am I adding foreign plastic into that? There's more than enough plastic on that tank. I don't need to add more plastic to it. So here's what I do. Right now I'm going to take you through, and this has never failed me yet since I've started doing this. First thing you want to do is obviously dump all your fuel out of your, there's still going to be some fuel in there, right? So dump it all out. Take your fuel cap off and leave it off. We don't want negative pressure or positive pressure in that tank when we're actually doing this repair. It can cause bubbles coming out through the repair when we're melting that plastic down. So take that fuel cap and put it aside and leave it off. Dump all your fuel out, obviously, and we don't want any fuel fumes in there. I know that a lot of you guys are saying right now, well, a little soldering iron like this can't possibly create a spark or anything and ignite those fumes. I agree with you 100% on that. I don't think so either, but do the best you can to get all that fuel out of there and all the fumes out of there. Air compressor. Dump that out into a can and just blast it out. Blast it out as best as you can till there's no more fumes and it's dry in there. Next thing we want to do is prepare that crack. I think this is a really good thing to do. I think this is actually quite essential to prepare the crack properly before we do this. So what I do, I'm just putting this little thing under here so I can actually, it's holding it at the right angle for me now. See that crack right there? You can clearly see that crack. It's all dirty and oily in there and everything. What we want to do now is take a little piece of sandpaper or emery cloth, whatever you have, and we want to just really polish that crack up as best as we can here. Keep on sanding that thing down until it looks really clean and you can really clearly see that crack. Once you get that down sanded like that, as best as you can, what I do, because there's still going to be some oil and some fuel, you know, some of your mixed fuel from your gas and everything in there, it's not going to stick. The plastic's not going to stick together good enough. So what I do is I just take some alcohol, not that kind of alcohol. I know this is Steve Small Engine Saloon, but hey, I'm not even going to drink this stuff. Rubbing alcohol, little cotton swab. Just get rid of that oil. Rub that real good with that oil. Or sorry, with that rubbing alcohol. Get all that oil off that you can. Really prepare that thing really good. Because when we start melting this with a soldering iron now, it's going to work a lot better. I know this because I've done this many times and I've experimented with this many times. So do that. And now what's the next step? I already have my soldering iron all heating up since we've been doing this video, so I know this is nice and hot now. So now here's what I do. I don't worry about that foreign plastic or anything on here. What I do is I take that soldering iron right there and I dig it right down in the groove. I kind of melt that groove down like that. And kind of dig that right down like that. Don't go right through the tank, but just melt a nice trench in there, because that's that trench we're making right there is where we're going to add the more plastic into there. So do that, and we got that all clean. It looks pretty good. If you have to, you know, if you melted a little bit of stuff off there, just hit it with another piece of sandpaper and get rid of that before we go any further. Now, I just kind of scoop the plastic over. Just be really patient with this. Scoop the plastic over to one side like that. See how that works? You're kind of pushing the plastic that's already on the tank over into that little trench, that little groove that we just made there. Keep melting that until it's nice liquidy plastic in there. And then once that trench is full, just kind of go around circles. This is what I do. I go around circles like this until it's all nice and liquidy and everything in there. Get that in as good as you can. Go overboard if you want to. Scoop a lot more plastic in there. Do what you have to do to get that trench full. And all melt it all to the sides and everything like that. And once you get that done like that, you know what? I think we're probably done here. I'll bet you anything now that I just did that. We're going to fill this up with fuel now. Hold on. There's some fuel. Put a little fuel in there, cap back on now, so we actually could get some pressure in there now from shaking it around. That's what we want. Watch this. Look at that. That is absolutely fixed. There is not a, it's not getting wet. There's not a drop of fuel getting through that. And when you shake it like this, it actually does create a little bit of pressure in that tank, so it should be pushing through there. Even if you had the tiniest little pinhole in there, it would be at least getting wet right there, and it is not wet in the least bit. That fixed that, you guys. That's done. That's not a temporary fix right there. I honestly believe that is a permanent fix. I've been doing that for the last many times I've done these, and I've never seen one come back yet says, oh, it's leaking again. So I truly hope that really helped you guys out there. I hope that saved you some money as usual. That works for me, you guys. Give me that thumbs up button. Give me that like button. Share this with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. Put some comments down underneath this video right here and tell me what you thought. Maybe you guys got another suggestion for this. Let me know. I love hearing your comments. Till the next video, guys, that's it for me. Coors Banquet Stubby. Steve out.